welcome back to Drive Mode Show. I'm James Gilboy, and this is the inside of a 2020 Toyota Avalon TRD. So the notion of there even being an Avalon TRD is kind of a strange one. The Avalon's always been a premium front-drive cruiser, about as far from a sports sedan like a BMW M5 as you can get. And yet, here I am in an Avalon with track suspension, big brakes, chassis bracing, a louder exhaust, low-profile tires, sticky ones at that, and a really outrageous body kit that makes a Subaru WRX look kind of like a Chevy Cruze. What you probably want to know is whether these make it worthy of the TRD badge on the back. And I'm pretty happy to say that they do. Almost. See, the Avalon TRD's shortcomings aren't the fault of its TRD upgrades, which do succeed at making the Avalon a more well-rounded car. The lower springs, the retuned shock absorbers, stiffened sway bars, and again, chassis bracing make the Avalon handle far better than any front-drive 3,600-pound sedan has any right to. And they don't ruin the ride quality either. It still glides pretty happily over anything short of an unpaved road, and even there, your only real worry will be whether the tires have enough sidewall to stop you from getting a puncture. The altered brake feel is up there with the best of them. The exhaust doesn't drone, and while the TRD version's grille is big enough to swallow a bull moose, I happen to like it. The world would be a better place with more silly-looking cars like this, and this is about as silly as looking a car as it gets. If there's one complaint I do have about that TRD body kit with all its aggressive aero, it's that the side skirts stick out way too far. Half the time when you get out, if you don't stick your feet out far enough, you're going to step on it, and over time, you're going to break them by doing that. Also, if you live in a winter climate or somewhere where it rains a lot, you're going to get wet stuff on your pants or pantyhose or on your socks, depending on who you are. My mom will never ride in this again. Now, if there's an issue with the Avalon TRD, it's something carried over from the base car, the Avalon itself. It's not the interior, which is spacious, well lit, and adorned in gimmicky red highlights that I happen to really like. Look at this seat belt. It's also not the tech that's the problem, because you got Toyota Safety Sense, you know, all the modern safety tech you could want, 5 USB ports, 3 up front, 2 in back, a marvelous but optional 14-speaker JBL audio system, and infotainment compatible with all the major phone OSs, Apple, Android, and then some Alexa stuff as well. Now, the problem is the powertrain. The 3.5-liter V6 itself is alright, 301 horse, 267 pound-feet of torque, or significantly less up in Colorado where I'm testing it. High altitude is so mean to naturally aspirated engines. Those are adequate. It sounds uncharacteristically raucous for an Avalon. That catback exhaust actually does make it sound pretty good, right at that top 500 RPM. And thanks to the 8-speed auto, beating the estimated gas mileage, piece of cake. The Monroney sticker that you'll find in the window, that tells you you'll get 25 mpg combined, but I'm seeing 26.4 now, and that's after driving it like an idiot through the mountains. You have to drive like quite the dunce to get less than 26. And on the highway, I think I was getting 33. But for all it does for your pocketbook, that 8-speed auto comes up very short when it comes to turning the Avalon into a sports sedan. Even in sport mode, like I'm going to put it right now, with the paddle shifting on, it takes way too long to shift up when you come out of a corner. Just listen. The shifting is bureaucratic enough that I think I can say I've been through DMVs that'll get you on the go more quickly. If it weren't for the transmission, the Avalon TRD would be a real contestant in the entry-level sports sedan market, because it offers more space and cheaper maintenance than something like a BMW 330i, even though that does start at $1,500 cheaper. news is it's got a little too much leftover DNA from the comfy cruiser it's based on to be a real do-it-all. It's just not quite there. It does bear saying that every time I start the car, there's some message in the infotainment telling me about throttle calibration, bring it in for service to have it reflashed. But honestly, is a software update supposed to fix that? I don't think so. That's the kind of stuff Tesla does, tell you to patch it after they release it. It's not the realm of Toyota. But I digress. The Avalon TRD is a silly mix of attributes that might make the right car for a tiny number of people, but to most, it'll be kind of just an overpriced curio, one to pass over for an Avalon Touring or a Hybrid Limited. And while I still like the TRD for what it is, given the Avalon's strengths, I'm inclined to say that people who shop for the Hybrid Limited are going to get the better buy. Even though they won't get that exhaust note.